Good day, students. In this lesson, we discuss about project management facilitating areas. Earlier, we have seen core areas. Now, these are facilitating areas. So, this discussion makes what is the process of managing human resources, communication, risks, procurement, and also discuss the process for managing integration of project knowledge areas. So here these are additional facilities which are essential but additional after the core areas. Most our human resource management, most of the projects we need men qualified and capable of doing things in a proper way and at the right time with the right quality. The human resources are making the most effective use of the people involved with the project, with any project, whatever the project it is. This HRM processes include developing the human resource plan, acquiring the project team, developing the project team, and managing the project team. So human resource plan in the sense planning, organizing, right, controlling the human resource requirement, manpower planning normally we can say. How to manage the project team. Developing the human resource plan in the sense identifying and documenting project roles. What are the different roles required? So when you know the roles in the project, you can look at the people suitable for that role. And responsibilities. What are the responsibilities? And reporting relationship. That is a authority relationship. Acquiring the project team, getting the needed personnel assigned to and working on the project. Then developing the project team. Once you acquire or make a team, you must make the team suitable for the project activities and building individual and group skills to enhance project performance. And managing the project team, that is again tracking the team members' performance, estimation, motivating team members, providing timely feedback so that they can correct themselves if there are any troubles or any drawbacks, providing timely feedback and resolving issues and conflicts, and coordinating changes to help enhance project performance. So project performance is utmost. So you need to look at how best we can make the performance and deliver the results in the project. Then management of project communication. This includes processes involving in communication project information with stakeholders. So you need to make clear-cut, timely communication with all the stakeholders to make again progress information to be reaching the sponsor and other stakeholders and requirements and changes, everything, right? Processes include identifying stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Whom do you need to communicate? Planning communication, how to plan, what to plan, and how to communicate and what to communicate and what is the medium to be used. Then distributing information, managing stakeholder expectations and reporting performance. These are the steps included in the communication. Then identifying stakeholders. Every project manager must identify everyone involved in or affected by the project. Suppose a big project is taken in the community, then landowners will be there and communities may be relocated from the place. So these all. So identifying everyone involved in or affected by the project and determining the best ways to manage relationships with the stakeholders. And planning communication, determining the information and communications need of the stakeholders. what is needed for the stakeholders. Distributing information, making needed information available to project stakeholders in a timely manner. These are the managing the project communication. And also managing stakeholder expectations, managing communication to satisfy the needs and the expectations of the project stakeholders and to resolve issues. Project manager must know what stakeholders are expecting, what stakeholders does require. And reporting performance, collecting and disseminating performance information, including status reports, progress measurements, and forecasting, etc. These are the reporting to the stakeholders. What is started and what is ongoing, and these things are day-to-day activities and achievements, everything is reported. Then another third area is risk management, because every project, everyday life is full of risks. So how you are managing the risks associated with any project in completing the project successfully. This risk management is art and science of identifying, analyzing, and responding to risk throughout the life of a project and in the best interests of meeting project objectives. So there may be so many changes, so many unexpected guests come in front of you when you are traveling, right? So in the project management, how do you, the unexpected guests, maybe some may be positive, some may be negative. How do you manage those negatives? That is very important in the risk management aspect. At the same time, ultimately, at the end of the day, this is the most important one. At the end of the day, most important aspect is project objectives. How best you are achieving the objectives, whether you are achieving or not. So often overlooked in projects, but it can help improve project success by helping select good projects, determining project scope, and developing realistic estimates. This is very important, because if you identify the risks in advance, you can plan, you can make a proper planning to meet those objectives with risks and solutions for the risks. Managing project risks, identifying risks. First one, very important thing, basic thing, determining which risks are likely to affect a project and documenting the characteristics of a project, of each. So when you look at agriculture, a farmer need to understand what is the rainy season and what is the flooding season, based on which he has to make planning of his plantation and crop, etc. And performing qualitative risk analysis, prioritizing risks based on their probability and impact of occurrence. Suppose, for example, if there is a possibility of every evening rain, then when you are traveling on a particular highway, you must look at reaching a certain destination before rain starts. Otherwise, you may be held up in rain, and at the same time, certain places in our PNG, there are hard terrains where landslides are possible and road damages are possible. So you have to look at that risk. There is a performing qualitative risk analysis. You have to make risk analysis before you take up the project. Performing quantitative risk analysis. So numerically, qualitative risk in the sense, again, quality of the project may be differing and all those things. And quantitative in the sense, what kind of risks, quantifiable possibility. Numerically estimating the effects of risks on project objectives. Suppose certain risks are happening, how long it will be extended, how much cost escalation, right? These all things to be taken into consideration. And planning risk responses, taking steps to enhance opportunities and reduce threats to meeting project objectives. This is very important. And monitoring and controlling risks, monitoring identified and residual risks, identifying new risks. There may be some risks already associated with the project, and there may be unexpected risks. That is what you need to identify, new risks. Carrying out risk response plans and evaluating the effectiveness of risk strategies throughout the life of the project. So it is not one day activity. You have to be vigilant of the activities of risk management throughout the life of the project. This is a probability matrix of risk. If a high risk, impact, low impact, and a medium impact and a high impact. When you speak about if risk is high, you take this quarter, this particular box you can take square. If risk is high, impact also will be high. If risk probability is low, then risk impact also very low here. So likewise, when you are starting from here to here, what is the impact of that particular happening for your organization or this project's risk? If a risk high probability in sense, suppose a probability of 0.9, 90% possibility. In such case, then your project will be disturbed, very affected, very positively, very highly. That is what we need to look at. Then procurement management. Third one is procurement management. Third one or fourth one, right? It involves acquiring goods and services. So procurement management, that is a fourth point in the other facilitating what we call project things. Procurement management involves acquiring goods and services for a project from outside the performing organization. So procurement, for a project you may have to procure materials and machines and so many things. Material machines where comes under human resources, but materials and all those things are quality material you need to procure for quality output. That is the reason why procurement management is very, very typical task and very difficult task in PNG like countries, because many things are to be imported. This process include planning procurements, conducting procurements, administering procurements, and closing procurements. Managing procurement processes. In this planning procurement, like determining what to procure, when to procure, and how to procure, and the fourth point, how much to procure. So these are to be properly decided and calculated and estimated. When do we require this particular item, right? Conducting procurements, obtaining seller responses. So when you decide the list of items to be procured from outside, you may have to look at who are the suppliers for each item, right? Because sometimes you may not get single seller or supplier for every item. You may have to procure different items from different people, for that matter from different countries even. So obtaining seller responses, who are the sellers for those items, and once you see the responses, that means you have to write to the sellers, we require these items and this much quantity, this is the quality, right? Are you able to produce or provide? This is what the communication from the project to the sellers. Then once they respond to your request, you can look at whom to be selected. Again, based on certain parameters, you have to select a particular seller or few sellers. You don't depend on a single seller. And you have to verify, the background check must be made for the consistent supplies and reliability of the sellers. Then awarding a contract, once you decide, then you can award the contract. Then they will be going forward. Then managing relationships with sellers, administering a procurement. So once you give the contract, that is not ending, that is only beginning relation with your company to the seller. So you have to manage good relations with the supplier, right? Monitoring contract performance, regularly assessing how far they did it, and making changes as needed whenever you need. Closing procurements, completing and settling each contract, including resolving of any open items. So you have to process, and when you receive the materials or various supplies, you check them for quality, these are determined quality, and you accept them, then you make payment, then close the issue. So these are the broad aspects and activities involved in the procurement process. Then integration management. So integration means combining various required parts to a particular thing to make a finished product, like a car. Directly you cannot feed the material and you will be getting car from the machine. No, you will be procuring various inputs and you are fixing them, or we are assembling them, and you are making a car. So this is what normally called integration management, where you integrate all the parts in a proper way to make finished product successfully, which involves coordinating all of the other project management knowledge areas throughout a project's life cycle. So when you look at a factory, if there are 4 different setups, and 4 may be independent but all need to be linked properly. Like you take simple example, our human body is a best example for better integration. You see, the Almighty God provided us where do we need eyes? He kept there, because if the eyes are on the back of the head and your foot are taking you forward, and it is difficult to see what is in front of you. That is the reason why eyes are in the front. Likewise, so this is a good example for a proper integration. Integrating all the parts is parts to make a finished product successfully. That's what integration. This ensures that all the elements of the project come together at the right times to complete the project successfully. If suppose in a car assembling the car, tires are not received, so you cannot make a car roll out. So that is the reason why you have to ensure all supplies properly on the time. The project managers must coordinate all of the other knowledge areas throughout the project's life cycle. So what are the processes involved in the integration management? Develop the project charter, first one, and what is overall project at all. Working with stakeholders to create the document that formally authorizes a project. This is important. Then develop the project management plan, coordinating all planning efforts to create a consistent, coherent document. Direct and manage the project execution. So you need to give the directions properly to execute the project, carrying out the project management plan by performing the activities included in the project charter. In the integration management process, monitor and control the project work. So overseeing project work to meet the performance objectives of the project. So when you are looking at what are the objectives for the project, those objectives must be met. And perform integrated change control. Sometimes we may have to change the entire process. So in that situation, how to adopt the changes, right? Coordinating changes that affect the project's deliverables and organizational process assets. So when you make some changes, then how to make ultimate objective is not deviated, and close the project or phase. Finalizing all project activities to formally close the project or phase, that is called closing or closing phase of the project. These are the review questions, and of course for this video there is no question to be answered by you, right? Your comments you can type in the comments box of the YouTube. Thank you.